Will robots steal our jobs? I mean, it's a question you see everywhere these days, right?
Hmm.
Kind of scary, but also kind of fascinating.
It really is.
And to help us really dig into this whole thing, we've got Juan Lombana with us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, he's a former Google expert, Forbes 30 Under 30, best-selling author, and marketing guru. So he's definitely in the know when it comes to AI, particularly how it's going to shake things up in the job market, which is what we're diving into today.
Right.
And you've probably heard those kind of alarming stats, right? Like
Yeah.
75 million jobs gone by 2025.
Yeah.
The World Economic Forum, they put that number out there, and it's enough to make anyone a little nervous.
Yeah. It's a big number. It's understandable why there's a lot of anxiety around that. It's a huge shift in how we think about work. I think that naturally people are a little unsettled.
Yeah, it's like that feeling when you go to order food and it's a kiosk instead of a person.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, okay.
Exactly. But before we all, go down that rabbit hole of robots taking over, I think it's helpful to kind of take a step back and define what we mean by AI, because it's used in a lot of different ways. And it can be a little bit confusing. At its core, when we talk about AI, we're talking about algorithms that are designed to mimic or emulate human intelligence. So it's teaching machines to essentially think, or at least learn, and in some cases even make decisions.
So not just robots taking orders.
Not quite, not quite.
Okay. Right.
And even within that, it's helpful to understand there are different types of AI. So what we largely see today is something called narrow AI, and this is AI that's designed to do a very specific task. So think about, self-driving cars, right? That's very task-oriented. Personalized music recommendations on Spotify, those eerily accurate shopping suggestions you get.
Yeah.
That's all narrow AI.
So like a very efficient co-working, but that only does one thing.
Yeah, like a hyper-focused, hyper-efficient. Now, the type of AI that tends to, capture the imagination and maybe keep some people up at night is what's called general AI. And this is the type of AI that you see in movies and science fiction, right? It's where you have machines that have this human-like intelligence that can perform a wide range of tasks. So anything from, composing a symphony to designing a skyscraper. That's more in the realm of general AI.
Okay, so that's getting a little too close to those robot takeover documentaries.
Yeah. So I think, the concern is understandable. But, it's interesting to note this fear of machines replacing humans. This is not a new fear. There's a New York Times article from 1929 that expresses the same anxieties. People were afraid that machines were going to, make human workers obsolete.
1929, so before the internet, we were worried about robots taking our jobs.
It seems to be this recurring theme throughout history, But the reality is we're still here. We're still working. We still found ways to adapt and thrive alongside new technologies.
So maybe we can hold off on the robot apocalypse for now, but even if AI isn't going to instantly make us all unemployable, why should we even care? What does it even mean for, the average person?
That's the million-dollar question.
So if just ignoring AI isn't the answer, what is? How do we get ready for this future where AI is everywhere?
Well, I think the first step is understanding it. Knowledge is power.
Right. So less LinkedIn scrolling, more AI tutorials.
LinkedIn's not a bad idea. But yeah, understanding how AI works, that's key. A helpful way to think about it is like a factory. And what fuels this factory?
Oil, coal.
Even better,
Yeah.
Data. Mountains and mountains of data.
Oh.
That's the raw material. The machines in this factory, those are the algorithms, the sets of rules and processes we talked about. And machine learning, that's the engine. The process of feeding all that data into the algorithms so the AI can actually learn, evolve, get better.
Got it. So we basically feed the AI a ton of info, and it uses that to figure out how to, do things maybe even better than we can.
Exactly. It's not even always about doing things better, but doing them differently, more efficiently. Think about something like Spotify. It looks at your listening history, right? That's data. And it uses algorithms to predict what music you'll probably enjoy. That's machine learning right there in your pocket.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does it learn so fast? I mean, it feels like every day there's some crazy new AI thing.
It's true. It's incredibly fast. Think about a kid, right? Learning to use one of those shape-sorting toys.
Yeah.
They're trying different shapes, different holes, until they get it right. Trial and error. Machine learning does the same thing, but a million times faster. Computers can process millions of those trial and error cycles in seconds.
Okay, that's pretty impressive when you put it like that. A little intimidating too.
For sure. It's powerful stuff, and that's why we need to be thoughtful about it, but it's also why it's so valuable.
Right, right. Which brings us back to that big question. Are the robots coming for our jobs?
Right. So the World Economic Forum, they predict 75 million jobs lost, which is a lot. No way around it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they also predict that 133 million new jobs will be created.
Hold on. More jobs created than lost.
That's the interesting part. It seems counterintuitive. But when you look at history, new tech always leads to new industries, new types of jobs. Think about social media. 20 years ago, social media manager wasn't even a thing. Now it's one of the most in-demand jobs out there.
Totally. My neighbor's kid just got this amazing job, like social media strategist or something. It didn't even exist a few years ago.
Exactly, and that's just one example. The challenge isn't really jobs going away altogether, but adapting to what those jobs look like. And we're not just talking tech jobs here. Every field, healthcare, finance, even art, will need people who get AI and know how to work with it.
So it's not about becoming a robot. It's about knowing how to work with them. So what are some of those new jobs and what skills will people need?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, so we're not all applying to be robot programmers then. But we do need to keep learning new things, figure out how to make AI work for us.
Exactly. We're not being replaced by robots, but by people who know how to use them, right?
It's like, what's that saying? Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish, you feed him for life.
Right, right.
But now it's like, teach someone to use AI, and you've set them up for the future.
Exactly. And the good news is you don't have to be, a coding genius or anything. It's about using AI as a tool.
Yeah, that's a relief.
Hmm.
So for, like, let's say people listening, different jobs, what can they start doing now?
Think about the skills you already have, and then think about how AI can make you even better at them. So if you're, say, a writer, right? There are these AI writing tools now that can help you research, even come up with ideas. Marketers can use AI to personalize their campaigns, really understand what customers want.
Wow.
Artists are using AI too for inspiration, pushing boundaries. There's really no limit.
So it's not just doing different work, but doing it differently.
Exactly. And that's where all those studies about AI making people more productive, that's where it gets really interesting. Remember we were talking about that
Yeah.
BCG study?
Yeah, the consultants, right?
The ones using AI were working faster, producing better stuff, all around just better results.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So AI, it's not just changing the jobs, it's changing how well we can do them.
Absolutely. And we're just getting started. The possibilities are huge. But the important thing is we can't just sit back and wait to see what happens. We have to jump in, be part of it.
No more robot apocalypse fears. Time to, like, level up our skills, right?
Exactly.
Figure out how to use AI ourselves.
Ask yourself, how can AI make me better at what I do? Check out what tools are out there for your field and never stop learning.
It's about growing with technology, not being scared of it.
Exactly. This is our chance to not just survive, but really to thrive in this new age of AI.
So to wrap up our deep dive today, I think a good question for everyone listening is, what's one thing you can do today, right now, to become an AI user, not someone who's afraid of it? Let us know.